Mercedes has shared new details about their unsuccessful upgrade at the Belgian Grand Prix and revealed when they will test it again. Pirelli has identified 3 reasons for the extremely low tire wear on George Russell's car. Red Bull has been criticized for poor strategy and compared to Mercedes. This is Formula One news, and we are starting. Mercedes has shared new details about their unsuccessful upgrade at the Belgian Grand Prix, and in their opinion, the issue is not with the new aerodynamic parts. The team from Brackley continued their development plan and introduced their biggest upgrade package of the season just before the summer break. 4 updates were aimed at improving performance: a new diffuser, floor edge, beam wing, and halo. It was expected to be a significant step forward, but it turned out to be a real disappointment. In the first practice session, both drivers complained about the car's instability and showed a pace that was a second per lap slower than the leaders. Such results and the lack of understanding of what went wrong forced Mercedes to revert to the previous car configuration and sparked discussions about whether this update was successful or if the team has, in fact, encountered new problems, as Ferrari recently did. The worst-case scenario everyone predicted was a new dead end for Mercedes and a mismatch between simulator data and actual track data. This is partly true, although not as dramatically. Toto Wolff commented on the terrible Friday practice sessions and cited mechanical settings as the reason for the car's instability. On Friday, we were not competitive, but there wasn't a clear direction on what it was. And honestly, I must admit that the overnight work that was done from Friday to Saturday in Brackley, in the sim and also here on the engineering side, was the key. We changed a lot for Friday. It was a mechanical non-alignment of what we thought the car would do. So, we remedied it. Incorrect mechanical settings may indicate some mismatch between the new parts and the expected characteristics, but it is not critical. The update needs to be better studied and the car adjusted according to the characteristics of the new aerodynamic parts. The team will have this opportunity after the summer break, and George Russell is confident that the new update package will return at Zandvoort. We've got a lot of things we can play around with, and I think we just had it in the wrong window on Friday. We obviously reversed on the floor because we just wanted to rule that out as well. But I've got no doubt that in Zandvoort we'll be returning to the new aero package and getting the car in a slightly different window mechanically. Pirelli has identified 3 reasons for the extremely low tire wear on George Russell's car. The Briton didn't look like a contender for victory at Spa, although he had a good start and showed a high pace in the first stint of the race. His starting position didn't promise a high result, but everything changed after switching to a risky one-stop strategy. It seemed that Russell would simply stretch the second stint, start showing low pace, and eventually be forced to make a second pit stop or just drop to lower positions. But this strategy turned out to be a winning one due to the abnormally low tire wear on his car, which became a topic of discussion. Some claim that the 1.5 kilograms of weight for which Russell was disqualified were the reason for the good tire performance. However, Pirelli has its own opinion on this. Pirelli's F1 boss, Mario Isola, named the reasons that, in their opinion, led to such low tire wear. For a preliminary explanation, at least in terms of tire behavior, there are some factors that stand out. First of all, today's track temperature was around 10 degrees higher than during FP2, and that probably contributed to very limited graining on the hard, which on the other hand was very significant on the mediums on a long stint. Furthermore, we can assume that the teams worked hard on defining car setup to find the best compromise between a wet qualifying and a dry race, and to try and protect the front axle, which was most prone to graining. A third element to consider is that many drivers made a point of looking after their mediums very carefully, especially in the quickest corners. Red Bull strategists came under criticism after the Belgian Grand Prix. The main task for Red Bull this Grand Prix was to minimize the losses caused by Max Verstappen's penalty for installing a new engine. The start of the weekend turned out to be particularly successful. Max showed good pace throughout all the practice sessions and secured a convincing pole position in qualifying. Starting the race from 11th, his task was to overtake Lando Norris, his closest competitor in the driver's standings. However, analyzing the race, many concluded that Max could have contended for a podium or even a victory. Viaplay expert Allard Kalf stated that Red Bull's strategy cost Verstappen, if not the win, then at least a podium finish. He could have won the race. He could have at least driven to the podium. What is one of the reasons that Russell won? He doesn't come in, he kept the position on the track, and overtaking was almost impossible. If you see how Hamilton and also Piastri drove up to those ahead and then got stuck within a second, they are bringing Max in at the wrong times again. He ends up behind other drivers and had to overtake them again. They always praise for their strategy. They were the best you could get. But I still have a little deja vu to the times when Mercedes were so dominant and everyone was saying that they had their strategy so well figured out. Until they came under pressure and then it all went wrong. Now we have seen for 2 races in a row that Red Bull's strategy is not good. This is not the first time Red Bull strategists have faced criticism. At the previous Hungarian Grand Prix, even Max himself criticized the strategists over the team radio. Perhaps the dominant car really did hide some of the team's problems, which are now becoming apparent. Share your thoughts in the comments.